Hi Aquarius, welcome to your week ahead horoscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant signs. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Aquarius, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. For your key to the week this week, you have the Chariot card, right? So there's a few things that we need to talk about here. The first one, the Chariot card basically is a message for you to slow down. And as I'm saying these words, I'm smirking to myself because I know exactly where this is. I know exactly what area of my life it is that I'm being asked to just take a chill pill. It's not happening as fast as I would like, and I am getting a little bit antsy about that. And it's like the Chariot card, because of the number that it has, the Chariot card can lead to the Tower. And this is one of the reasons that it asks you to take it easy, right? To take it slow. The other thing is you can gain momentum and gain speed as you go. But if you go from 0 to 100 in 5 seconds flat, you're going to lose control somewhere. So the message behind this is take everything at a pace. And remember as well, the outcome of this card is victory and success, but it's by conquering the aspects of you that are out of balance, right? So this is you bringing yourself into alignment so that you can navigate and traverse the terrain that you are going through at this moment in time. Take your time, Aquarius, all right? Don't rush. And I will be taking my own advice on this week as well, I can assure you. With that said, the Chariot card is also a reminder that whatever comes up, you are more than skilled or equipped to deal with, all right? Now, if you are a continued subby, you know Rafi loves you. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. For your actions and options this week, you've got the Magician card. So you got like all of the ability that you need, right? This is what I was saying with the Chariot card. You've got everything, like all the ingredients are there. That's the message behind the Magician, right? This is you coming up the ranks. And I got to be honest with you, this feels like a week where something shows up for you that you did not expect. This could be where you're thrust into the limelight in some way. It could be where you are offered something that maybe you've wanted, for the longest time, but you never really thought it would happen. It's just that you always had the hope on the inside. This could also be a moment where you are pushed into some form of leadership. It could be a time where you're asked to present, where you're asked to speak. It could be a moment at which you fall into or are thrust into some position of leadership that you hadn't expected. This week, use your power, use your powers of mind, use your powers of persuasion, and more importantly, use your power to peer into the future. That is your gift as an Aquarius. You are the bridge between logic and intuition. Use it this week. This is what you're here for, right? Pick up your damn wand and start weaving your magic. If ever you needed someone to shake you out of your complacency, but take your time with it, right? And this is, I can't remember the exact words, but I joined a group recently and it's just wonderful. It's full of some really phenomenal people, and one of the messages from the lady who runs the group, or is the head of the group, she said that good magic and true beauty are all things that take time. And if you want to weave magic this week that is strong, that is powerful, that lasts the test of time, take your time with it, all right? It's kind of like the difference between an essay that you take weeks of researching and loving and all the rest of it compared to something that you smash out the night before because you've got a deadline. This is the difference, all right? So know that difference. When it comes to your communications and conversations, you've got the King of Cups. A Cancerian male is very likely to feature for all of us in some way, shape or form. Yes, I myself am an Aquarius. So the Chariot card is Cancer ruled, King of Cups, water sign male, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. Coupled with the Chariot card, this is a Cancerian male that is going to feature for you very heavily this week. Something that is either being shared with you, something that is maybe a conversation that you're having that really touches you in that space. Shock, horror, dare I say it, that is an emotional space. Now, Aquarians, we're not really known to be emotional people. And it's really funny because I have, for those of you that know, I have moon in Cancer. And so I'm very emotional. I'm very tapped into my emotions. I always have been. And when I say that to people, they're like, oh, well, you can't be an Aquarius then. It's like, well, it's not the only placement that I have, right? So whether this is your sun, your moon, or your ascendant, you have other placements and other planets elsewhere. Even if you've got a stellium in Aquarius, somewhere you will have a different energy in your chart that allows you to tap into your emotions. Some of the conversations that you're having this week could be with a Cancerian male or a very powerful person, or somebody that asks you to use your power or your information, or maybe even your intuition, in a professional or an academic sense. Some of the conversations that you have this week are likely to touch you in a very emotional way or space, and these can really help you get a handle on what you're manifesting, and more importantly, why. For those of you that are studying or in any form of academia, that King of Cups is really, this would be a great week to check in with a counselor, with a therapist. It would be a really powerful week to speak to somebody that has those kinds of skills, because they might be able to highlight something to you that you've never thought of before. For those of you that are in academics, like, this would be a really good week to start thinking more from the emotional space. What is your EQ? Forget about your IQ. We know you've got that. You're an Aquarius. What is your EQ? What's your emotional intelligence? How, what level is that at? Utilize that this week, and I think you'll get a lot from it. And that's across the board, especially for those of you that are studying though. For those of you that work for somebody else, this is a week for you to really take your emotions out of the equation, right? Feel how you feel, deal with the facts, and then once you have them, if you think, you know what, I'm never going to be cherished or appreciated here, maybe, just maybe, this is the week where you say to yourself, okay, I'm going to see it out and I'm going to move on. For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, people that work for themselves, this could be a really powerful week for you to magnetize or attract to you the kinds of connections that you need in order to grow your business. You do need to start thinking global or international instead of just sort of in the here and now. Basically, the message is you've got to start thinking bigger than you are. And then when it comes to those of you that are retired and no longer working, again, a lot of people wait until the kids have flown the coop and, they're in the right sort of space, in terms of life and everything, to start looking into the deep inner self. This could be a week where, and for some of you, you might be choosing to study something like counseling, therapy, psychotherapy, all of that kind of stuff. Very interesting, very, very interesting. For your love and relations, you have the Six of Pentacles. So you got this with the Magician card. What kind of relationship do you want? If you are single, this week you could be meeting somebody who really blows your socks off, but makes you feel something that you haven't felt for a while, or makes you see something in a very different light. The Six of Pentacles for me has a karmic debt kind of energy to it. And so if you're meeting someone this week, make sure, because the feeling is going to be deep. And so you need to be really clear on this. Is it a soulmate or is it a lesson mate? We can have multiple soulmates over a lifetime. They're not all romantic partners. Some are friends, some are family members. We need to broaden the scope of what a soulmate actually is, because it's very limited at the moment. Or a lesson mate, which is someone who comes in to see, have you really learnt from the last one? Have you really gotten over this hurdle, or are you going to go through the same motions over again? This is something to really dig into and ask yourself. If you're partnered, married, or in a long-term commitment, that Six of Pentacles could see you guys looking at the finances, the resources. They may ask you, do we have to keep paying for this? Are we really getting out of this what we're putting into it financially? For your money and materials, you've got the Ten of Swords, and the answer is probably no. So something that you're paying for, something that you are in receipt of, is either no longer doing what it says on the tin, or especially if you're married or partnered, your partner may say to you, I don't want to do this anymore and I'm not willing to pay for it. So you're either going to have to find a way to finance it on your own, or you're going to have to let it go. The Ten of Swords is endings, culminations and completions. And it might be something that you feel on an emotional level like, wow, okay, I'm going to have to let that go. You might have a moment with it. All right, just be aware of that. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, the Ten of Swords is usually your back and your spine. So this would be a good week to see a physical manual therapist, whether this is a massage therapist, an acupressure, acupuncture, osteopath, chiropractor, all of that kind of stuff. Highly favored for this week. When it comes to your home and environment, this could quite frankly be an argument either with a neighbor. For some of you, it could potentially be with a sibling, and for others, I mean, it doesn't really look like it's with the partner, if I'm honest. I think the only thing that you guys aren't seeing eye to eye on is something that they don't feel that you're getting them, it's money's worth. So it's kind of like they're saying, well, look, if you want to keep doing it, you do it, but you're going to have to pay for it on your own. I'm not interested. So your full moon message, for those of you that are ascendant Aquarians, but to a lesser degree, but still relevant for the sun and the moon, this full moon in Virgo is taking place in your 8th house, right? So this is the house of psychology and the depths. It's the taboos, it's the sex, the drugs, the rock and roll, the stuff that is, somewhat hidden, the occult energies. It's also psychic awareness and phenomena. It's occult studies. The 8th house is other people's money and resources. So, when it comes to money and resources, this could be a time where you start to realize ways that you can make more money from other people. It may also be a time where, because a full moon is a completion, a culmination, or an ending, where a revenue stream from other people is coming to an end. Maybe a certain client is being let go. Maybe a certain job or a certain duty that you do is being let go of. But remember, a full moon is also a beginning. So if you think about a woman being pregnant when she's at full term, that's the full moon. It's the end, the completion or the culmination of the pregnancy, but it's the birth of the child. And so what this suggests to me is, whatever revenue stream you're letting go of, there is a new one coming in. Because it is through the lens or through the energy of Virgo, this is you having to get really stringent about what you pay for. This could also highlight some sort of tax, because 8th house is taxes. It's also inheritance as well. So for some of you, this could come up there. And you have the gate 42 and closing. There's definitely a completion, an end, a culmination. There's something being let go of or released this week. And I feel like this is on a financial level, which could actually, in the long term, be very, very good for you. All right. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.